Lasciare la music intera.
What are we going to talk about today, Nick?
About friends.
Oh, who's loopy and tired? Me?
Yeah.
Okay. What do we want? Why are we talking about friendship?
Because we were talking about that in our audio class.
Yes. Oh, thank you. All right. We are talking in our social boundaries class about the closest friends you have who get to be placed in your green faraway hug circle. And then we're talking about peers and acquaintances. And so the issue of what is a friend and how do you decide where to place them in your world of circles has been this huge issue. And we just finished class and we thought we need to unpack it a little bit.
Yeah.
So when we say like the definition of what a friend is, what would be a decent definition?
Like a person you know you well, and I like you a lot, but then I really remember you of him.
Right. That's exactly it. I don't even need to repeat that. So when we talk about our friendships and the people who are closest to us, there are certain qualities that you're going to look for when you are picking who your closest friends are. And can you think of some of those off the top of your head, what those qualities might be?
Yes. There is honesty.
Okay, that's a big one for me. Is that big for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so being honest, what else?
There's also trustworthy.
Okay, and someone who's trustworthy.
And kind.
Kindness is a big one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's being helpful and supportive, being a good listener, and also like to laugh with you.
Oh, you like to laugh with your friends. I like to laugh with my
Yeah.
friends too. Okay, and then you said one that I was like, what? But what did you say? The one you threw out?
Has your back.
What do you mean by has your back?
Like sticking up for each other, like happy you if someone else is like burning you or being mean to you.
Yeah. Right? Someone who has your back. I love that for thinking about your friends. And when I think about my closest friends, and I don't have a lot of close friends. I know a lot of people, but I've always been kind of a keep to myself person. And I think you're that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, if like close friends, like
I'm
two or
protector.
three, right?
I'm a protector.
Yes. Yeah. You're so great. But so someone who has your back, I love that idea because life can be challenging.
Yeah.
And if you know somebody has your back out there, that's a really special thing.
Yeah.
So any other factors we think about when you're picking friends or thinking, is this person a good friend?
Yeah.
What else?
They also want what's best for you and also to you on, and you also love to be hanging out with them because they're fun around to be with.
Okay. Yeah, and you mentioned the fun, and I love the idea that it's someone who cheers you on. So somebody who is going to look at whatever you're doing and be excited for you, right? Instead
Yeah.
of being competitive, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that background, and by the way,
Yeah.
excellent. I think this is my favorite episode right
Yeah.
now because it's the most you ever have said.
Yeah. Same.
You guys probably think, really? You think he doesn't talk? He talks all the time, just not always when we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're great. I don't mean to interrupt us. So one of the things we do in class is we look at these 6 deciding factors, and they are things like how long have you known the person? How often do you see them? What are your common bonds? What things you have in common?
Yeah.
How trustworthy are they? What are your feelings towards them? And do you feel safe with them? I think that's 6. I hope that's 6. Don't count.
It
But
is.
okay, good. So when we use that to pick a friend of yours.
Mike.
Okay, so let's see whether Mike belongs in the green or the yellow circle. Why don't you go through some of those questions and we can kind of figure out if he's in the green. So how long have you known Mike?
I known him as a baby, and he was in the store.
Yeah, yeah. You don't remember that because you were a newborn, but
Yeah.
you remember the story of meeting Mike. So
Yeah.
Mike and his parents came to the hospital when Nick was born. So they met when Nick was 1 day old, and you've known him ever since, right?
Yes.
So how often do you see him?
On Thursdays
On Thursdays
and some other days.
and other days. So you see him pretty often.
Yeah.
When was there a time where you saw him every day?
Yeah.
When?
When I was young.
And when you were in your transition program?
Yes, and in my transition program as well.
Right. So when Nick was in the transition program, the school is literally at the other end of our block. And we would oftentimes, Mike's mom would drop him off and he'd walk with us, or he'd come home with us and she would pick him up from here. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And they were in the same class for, I think, 2 years, where they went and they spent every day together. And so you've known him a long time, see him pretty often. How about common interests? Do you have a lot of common interests with him?
Yeah, I do. Like working out and animals.
What about animals?
What about animals?
Yeah, like you said, what about animals? You hate animals, you love animals, you love dogs, you hate what
Love.
You
have love for animals.
You both have love for animals. Okay. I was just looking for a little more details. Anything else you have in common?
Work out.
You said that.
And some others.
What others? Like, just name one more. Is it hard to think about? Think about what he likes to do even in class.
Loves he does to dance and he always loves my humor.
Oh my gosh. Everybody thinks you're oh so funny, Nick. It's driving me crazy. Nick is a huge disruptor of class. But that's right. You have similar senses of humor, and he thinks you're funny, and he loves to dance and you love music and love to dance. So that's a lot of things. So then let's see. I think the other questions we don't even need to get to. So where would you put him? Would he be yellow or green circle?
Green.
Definitely, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to make this episode long. I just wanted to talk about this because I think if I was not in a position of teaching this subject to all these students locally and now nationally, and we're trying to put friends in a place of social distance, closer or further, so are they closest friends or not, we wouldn't be having these discussions. And I think it's so important to have these discussions so that you are sharing appropriately, acting appropriately, and being appropriately kind and attentive to the people that you value as your closest friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's it. So are you somebody who has a large number of close friends? Would you describe yourself as someone who has very few close friends? What do you value in your relationships? We'd love to hear from you. I think we're going to be talking about this tomorrow with our class because we are almost on the last circle for the face-to-face class that we do. And we're going to talk a little bit about the characteristics of friendship. Did you want to add anything else about friendship?
No.
No? Okay. It's just interesting. The human connection is so important, and really focusing on all the different people you interact with in life and the way you interact with them, it almost changes the way you walk around the world. And so when we just were talking to the students, you always have to yawn at least once. When we were talking to the students, what we hope is that we are going to equip them to walk out their front door, and as they see neighbors or acquaintances or teachers or community helpers or medical professionals or total strangers, that they'll almost have that map in their head and they'll think of where that person lives on their circle map. I mean, I hope that's what happens. And it'll be interesting to see how you continue now that you're so focused on it.
Yeah.
Do you think it helps you become more independent?
Yes.
Do you feel more equipped to deal with people?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me. Anyway, if you want any more information about it, we won't talk about it every week. Oh, we know we're coming to the end because Nick's mimicking me. What if I do all kinds of weird things? You're going to do that too? Okay, I guess there's no limit. There's no boundary. All right. So I hope you have a good week. and we'll be back soon. Take care.